documenting this. This is the clay form of the Vengeance sculpt. It is September 1st. I need to get this thing into the latex process before the film hits. So what I'm doing is I'm just documenting this on video so you guys can see it when the film releases, or if anybody's interested in the appearance of the sculpt on the form. This is a fully detailed posting documentation. I'm not doing this live because I'm not allowed to show the facial details until after the film release. So at the time of this video shooting, it's still not been released as a film. However, I am just doing this to show you guys the entire processing of the entire sculpt. There will be facial videos that are documented at a later date, probably at the same time this is released insofar as the film goes. But this is the entire sculpting process. This is the time-consuming thing. There are some things that I did on the sculpt that I changed that are different from the actual film version. The nose itself is smaller. It's still the same shape. It's smaller. The teeth. I did put a bit of cracking and decaying details into the teeth, which will show up on the latex version. There are some holes and crackings and chips and stuff in there. There is a little bit of an overbite. He looks a little bit like he's got Freddie Mercury or something. That is a double thing there, so when you have the latex mask, not only is it cut right here, but it gives a little bit more breathability, hopefully, in the latex mask version. Other than that, this is just documenting all the details and stuff that went into it. It is done from the photos that Jason Brooks supplied me months and months ago, back about March or April, and started working on this thing. I had it actually knocked out, and I'm now having to, instead of buying more monster clay and working with it, I'm having to try to repurpose, because I have other projects that I'm trying to work on sculpt, and I'm running low on clay, so I need to virtually, quote-unquote, destroy this particular clay mold, but I need to preserve it before I do that. And I've already done that in silicone for the resin castings, and I will do that with the latex version as well. If need be and it needs to be redone, I do have backup for that, to recast it and do other details. However, this is, like I said, this is video documentation of the actual sculpting itself, just to document it for authenticity, you know, that type of thing. So there you go. You have all the details. You see it resembles the film as closely as I could get it to the pictures. At the time, CFX had only made 2 silicone masks, and so I took the liberty of doing the transference of the images to clay. Had to check with CFX to kind of CYA, cover my ass on any rights infringements or litigations or anything like that that I might think would be in order, so to speak. But what ended up happening was I got approval from them because it did not directly match in detail to detail their sculpting. As a matter of fact, their molding that they made had been destroyed shortly after the 2 silicone versions for the film were made. And those 2 versions were held privately by 2 people in the film, from the film. And the cast, the mold itself, was destroyed because it was a personally commissioned piece by somebody on the film. So therefore, they do not have the silicone mold anymore. I don't know if they're going to recreate it in the future or what have you when the film comes out, but at this time, this is the only version that I'm aware of that has been free-handedly created outside of CFX. Was done, by myself, and this was, thankfully, totally approved by the director Jeremy Brown, endorsed and approved by Jason Brooks. I'm sorry. Did run this through a few other people in the cast and crew for kind of like feedback, and make sure I got all the details right, did everything to the specs and everything. So I'm just going to go ahead and let this be the official video documentation of having done the Friday the 13th freehand clay sculpting of the Friday the 13th vintage Jason. Now this is the thing that's been hiding behind that mask every time that I was working on it, couldn't show the details. Now you see the full sculpting details and everything. So you see it all in good, bad, and ugly right there in front of you. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.